Tarkir Dragonstorm is going to be one of the most broken sets to ever debut for Magic. With all the new cards, I want to look at one in particular. Betor, Ancestor's Voice, is a new white, black, green dragon. It lets you make 1/1 counters based on how much life you've gained this turn, and it lets you bring back creature cards from your graveyard based on how much you've lost. Betor's going to be on a precon with a deck list that's already out to explore. Today, I want to look at some of the best cards that can be added to the deck and some that are already inside. Let's get started. First, let's take a look at some cards with lifelink. We want to gain as much life as possible to put counters onto other creatures. An obvious choice off the bat would be Whip of Erebos, giving every creature on the field lifelink. A slightly different version that might be weaker, Vault of the Archangel, can give each of your creatures lifelink and Death Touch. This might be one of my favorite combos ever. Most people don't block Death Touch unless they have something to chump block with. Despite the cost needing to be paid when attacking, I actually think this card is better than Whip of Erebos. The only problem is having to keep it up every turn. If you want something a little more direct, all of these cards on screen give 1 life when a creature enters the field. It also doesn't seem to have to be your turn for this effect. For all of these being 1-drops, this is free health you can gain every turn. Another benefit of these being 1-drops, they'll be easy to get back with Betor's second ability, but we'll get back to that. A much more expensive option would be Scion of Draco. The minimum cost you can pay for this is 6, but it buffs every creature in your deck based on the color and their mana cost. If a creature is multiple colors, it can gain multiple buffs. Even though this won't give every creature on your side lifelink, I still think it's a worthy choice to add to the deck. Maybe you're not wanting to play creature cards? Don't worry, Fumigate gives you life for each creature destroyed. Exsanguinate gives you life depending on how much you pay for the cost, and Beacon of Immortality can double your life total at any given time. If you get that up and early, that could be 40 counters on one creature. I saved the best part for last, Planeswalkers. Elspeth Resplendent? I hope I'm saying that right. Can give any creature a 1/1 counter and lifelink. She can do this for any creature on your side. For 7 loyalty, she can create 5 3/3 angels with lifelink and flying. This is free life gain. A Johnny Wise Counselor, on the other hand, can give you life for each creature you control. If your life gain gets high enough, you can spend his non-loyalty ability to get X 1/1 counters, where X is your current life total. Suddenly, your extra health is now a win condition. Now, I hear you complaining. We have all these ways to gain life, but we need something to put the counters onto. They can't go on to Betor. I hear you. Let's talk about it. Dragonlord Jamoka, which is already in the precon, seems to me like a great choice, starting as a 5/7 lifelink flying dragon. He also cannot be countered, and it stops your opponents from playing instant or flash cards during your turn. Maybe this is a bit of a boring choice, but I think it makes for a very good one. Rodolph Duskbringer is also a great choice. Flying, lifelink, and Death Touch, who can also gain indestructible if you gain life during your turn. You can pay 2 to bring back something from graveyard if you like. This ability works well since you're already going for life gain anyway. The more you heal, the more counters for Rodolph. Then the more life you can use to bring stuff back from the graveyard. Someone a lot less powerful, but also probably a bit cheaper, would be Elenda's Hierophant, who creates X 1/1 lifelink vampires upon death. The hardest part is convincing your opponent to attack it, but if they don't, suddenly you can have a 20/20. Now, I want to talk about a few more expensive cards that could also work. I generally try to keep card costs under 30, but these go a little bit over. Serra Ascendant is a 1-drop with lifelink that becomes a 6/6 if you have 30 or more life. If you get this in your starting hand, this can be a lot of free life gain. Archangel of Thune is also a wonderful choice, giving 1/1 counters to each creature on your side if you gain life. Since this can be triggered multiple times per turn, this can build you incredibly strong creatures. On the stronger side, Bloodthirsty Conqueror is a fantastic choice, giving basically everything you control a form of lifelink. He also has a million different combos, being the stronger version of Exquisite Blood. I would not put this in your deck unless you're intending to stomp your opponents with it. But now let's move on. Hey, I just wanted to pause the video really quick. These videos take a long time to make. I basically have to spend all day writing the script, building a deck, and a lot more. So please, if you could just subscribe, it would mean the world to me. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the video. I want to talk about the second part of the card, bringing something back from the graveyard. This is much harder to get. You need to deal damage to yourself, then the converted mana cost can be used to bring something back. In the sorcery category, Reanimate is an option. I don't like this one as much since you're paying to lose health in order to get something back from your graveyard. And then you're using Betor's ability to get that lost health to get something out of your graveyard. This might not be the great choice, but it is very cheap. Anguished Unmaking is probably a much better and consistent choice. While Betor and the other cards with it have a high power to deal damage with, being able to wipe something that isn't a creature off the board is very important. Nurturing Peatland is a great choice, forcing you to pay 1 life every time you want mana, but Phyrexian Arena is even better, allowing you to draw a card every turn at the cost of also losing 1 life. Black Market Connections lets you choose how much life you want to lose for how much benefit. I think the 1 and 2 life abilities are probably the best, but it's up to you. Staff of Completion, which is also in the precon, also has the same deal, where you can choose the benefit directly tied to how much you want to spend. Personally, I think Proliferate works amazing here. Something a little more costly, but also probably insane if played at the right moment, would be Beladraw's Witherbloom, where you can pay 10 life in order to untap all lands that you own. I can see this being a way to bring back a very powerful card, while also being able to potentially play more cards from your hand. In the same vein of paying a lot of life, Aetherflux Reservoir is a great choice. This is more of a win condition and a way to gain life, but also a way to get a card back from the graveyard. Now I've gone over everything, life gain and life loss. Maybe you want to try this strategy out. If you do, I've put a deck list in the description below for you to try. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.